Bethesda, without question, is absolutely talentless trash. In fact, they are so talentless, it has become a talent in of itself. And I'm being impartial here. I'm actually giving Bethesda the benefit of the doubt here. Because just look at Bethesda as a whole and what they have done. Look at Starfield, for example. It is absolutely insane. The big patch, the big bug fix patch, the big update that they did for a whole month. How much did that actually accomplish? 3, maybe 4 bug fixes of who 2, and I'm not even joking. Usually half of their bug fixes aren't actually fixes. Remember the asteroid following bug? That was an issue for a lot of people that they claimed that they fixed 3 whole times? Yeah, remember that one? Bethesda is just absolutely garbage when it comes to anything. But there is one thing that they actually do, which is kind of sad, and that is update Fallout 76. Fallout 76, amongst every game Bethesda has, Indiana Jones, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and whatnot, it is the only game that actually gets updates. And it's not because it's good. Mainly it gets microtransactions updates, and sometimes it gets actual game balance changes. And every time this happens, by the way, the Fallout 76 community, which is typically nice, most Fallout 76 players are actually nice, even though they're playing garbage. A lot of them know it, but there's one good thing that you can say about the 76 community, it's the fact that they're nice people. Most of them are really helpful and nice, but the game is shit at the end of the day. You should be able to admit it, Be like Elder Scrolls Online players, which is, ironically enough, another Bethesda product, but the player base on mass literally admits, yeah, Elder Scrolls 6 is complete garbage. Microtransaction hell. They're nickel and diming us, and the whole game has been going to shit for literal years. But then again, there's nothing Elder Scrolls to play other than this that gets updates, so here we are. Okay, be at least the people who are not afraid to admit that they like slop and play it time to time. I play World of Warcraft retail, not for the story, mostly to make fun of it, but clicking the buttons in retail is fun. I know the game is all in all slop, but it's at least somewhat fun to press the buttons. But the story's garbage. Fallout 76 players, though, are never gonna admit it. Even though every single time Bethesda actually gives them a patch, and I'm serious, Bethesda actually does give 76 players patches. But again, it's mostly microtransactions because they want to nickel and dime them hard. Okay? Real hard, in fact. Every single time, though, they do make a big patch, the community's mad because they always ruin something. They always ruin something. And this has been a constant thing for years at this point. I don't think there's even a single 76 player out there who's unironically going to go right down in the comments down below and fight for the fact that no, every time Fallout 76 gets an update, it doesn't break everything. It does. It does. Again, Bethesda is so talentless, they turned it into a talent.
Gee willikers, guys. Oh man, I did not expect that. Let's just say recently I uploaded a video over the new Fallout 76 update that just came out recently, September 2nd. And in the video, I was just going over the patch notes and, just going over what the update is about. A quick synopsis over it. It's a whole camp overhaul. We have much more freedom to build within this new update. It also came with damage updates too, like.
So this is a big deal because, again, most microtransactions are just items for camps. That's effectively what Bethesda does. They add things that you're supposed to buy. Look at this. Look at this. This blanket literally has atoms on it. Do you want to bet this shit costs $4 in the microtransaction store? Because it does. Like, Fallout 76 players, tell me that this is not something that costs like $3 or $5 in the microtransaction store. Oh no, it's actually in a bundle. You also get a green couch. Okay. Anyway, that is their whole play. So this update that allows you to just place things wherever you want, kind of cool actually. The first actual good thing they probably did in the game. And no, adding NPCs wasn't a good thing because most of the storylines, and when I say most, I mean all of them, are still fucking trash.
They nerfed some weapons and they upgraded some weapons. Basically, the meta has been changed around a lot, and they also have changed around a lot of perk cards too. And come to find out, after I uploaded the video, I just got loads and loads of comments.
God, this game looks so bad.
Talking about how they didn't like the update. I didn't expect that. I haven't exactly jumped in and tested it out fully. I mean, I did test out quite a bit in the PTS with the camp update, you know, messing around, building things, and being able to merge things now while building stuff. I gotta say, the camp overhaul part is amazing. It's like the best we've ever gotten in Fallout building, period.
This is technically a lie. I'm assuming they got something like Starfield's system, and there's a bunch of people who say, "Oh, shipbuilding in Starfield is really good." No, it's not. It's shit. It's garbage. It's absolute trash. It is. It is. What's the name for it when you instinct? It's unintuitive, and it's in general completely garbage. If you misplace something, you have absolutely no chance to know what that is because the game doesn't even tell you. It is a ass system. Is it slightly better probably than what you have in Fallout in general? Yes, because settlement mechanics are a fucking joke and no one likes them on average, except 5 people who are now really mad at me. But all in all, no one likes settlement mechanics. That's just the reality of things. And the way that they made settlements now be buildable is still not better than what was previously. It's a minor improvement. It's still not good.
Like, we can build some amazing things now since this new update. But on the other end, there's a lot of other problems that I didn't realize were occurring. And in this video, I'm going to be covering them and also giving my genuine thoughts over what I think about this update as well after I go over, well, what the players are saying. So yeah, let's get into this. Check this out, guys. First, I'm just going to show you some comments that are left on my video that I just uploaded. I did not see this much negativity coming, I'll be real. I'll just show some. I'm not going to show their name though, just because I don't know if
When Fallout 76 players are negative, you know it's real bad.
they want to stay anonymous or anything, but I'm just going to cover some of the things that they're not enjoying. As you can see here, downloaded patch 22. My main weapons don't have as much damage for some reason and are heavier too. Probably figure out a workaround, but been here since day 1 on 76 and redo every 3 months is crazy. I'm solo, it takes time to get the stuff you need to.
This is crazy. Because on a fundamental level, by the way, balance changes are good. League of Legends does it, and that it has worked them for a very long time. Dota adopted that same brand of idealism. Lost Ark does that to an extent. Usually, it like freshens up a class, and it's slightly different, but still. Obviously, Last Epoch, Path of Exile, Path of Exile 2, Diablo 4 does not actually do this because it's a shit game. And surprise, surprise, people are actually mad in 76 about this also. You know why? Because it's a shit fucking game. So the reality is, changes are really good. Keeping the meta fresh, things like that, they are really, really, really good in almost every game, except bad games like Diablo 4 and, well, Fallout 76. So here's the deal: what happens, as I have noticed. Maybe you have something to add to this, you know? Feel free. But this happens in bad games. In bad games, the people who are playing them kind of want to accumulate everything. They want to get everything. They want to do all of these things. They're super fans. And they don't like when their progression gets actually impeded in any way. So actually having patch changes that muddy up things and make them redo things is kind of bad for them because they're kind of completionists. They're kind of aiming to get everything, do everything, and do things like that. That's why people in Diablo 4 are actually against seasons. Yes, in every other game, people are for seasons, but in Diablo 4, a lot of people fucking hate seasons. Because again, they're completionists. They want the best everything. They want things like that. So having all of your plans, all of your grinding become useless every like month, 2 or 3, pisses these people off a lot because they're the only people playing it. They're super dedicated hardcore fans, and that's that's just how these things happen. And this is the problem in Fallout 76. This is why people are mad when these patches happen and something changes. Because then these people need to stop what they're doing and adapt to the changes, which is not what they want to do. They just want new shit added so they can collect it, and there you go. You're off to the races.
Get better and better. And someone commented on this saying, I found that too with my build, my plasma gun's ammo capacity cut by almost half.
Oh, and by the way, this is also fucking stupid. Logging in and then your build that you were playing being nerfed is horrible. This is why Diablo 4 doesn't actually do the, oh, we're gonna introduce build changes every fucking week. Because no one wants to log in and suddenly you can't do what you previously did because your build doesn't function. And, I mean, this is just horrible doing this. Now, granted, in Fallout 76, it happens every couple of months. But it's still really annoying, probably, for the people who are playing.
That's with quad mod and damage cut. I'm more squishy than ever, too. I'll get more into the squishiness and stuff like that after I just cover some things that players aren't happy about. Here's another one. They're very disappointed they shrunk either the inventory or camp budget, or they just made some heavy weapons heavier for some reason. Got on mine and was 1,212 instead of 1,200 yesterday. He's talking about his storage. Had to destroy about 7 heavy guns just to get back to be able to dump 1 heavy gun in inventory. Yet my camp budget shows I still had room. So yeah, yet another nerf to our ever shrinking ability to play the game without hassle. And it's got 10 likes. And someone responded to his comment saying, that's dumb. I'm also mad the auto axe getting hard nerfed because those perks don't work with power tools. So all the people who farm chainsaw, it's useless. You can see here's another one. This is not camp revamp, it's nerf revamp. Yeah, quite a bit of nerfs did happen. Worst update ever.
And yes, by the way, Bethesda, since the game is played by literally people who have 10,000 shit in their storage spaces, Bethesda needs to pay for that access to memory, okay? They need to pay server maintenance for that. That increases server costs. Bethesda doesn't like that. They want you to buy all of the shit in that microtransaction store, but they don't exactly want you to keep it, okay? So nerfing how much people have storage is an easy way to just, slightly cut down on that server maintenance.
And absolutely no content. I'm not even sure if I play this season. And Fallout first, I will for sure not renew. This person said they killed the auto axe. How freaking sad. Of course, right after I buy it. F this game. It's not like melee is broken. Scorched beasts and things are so annoying with melee. Also, the raid is impossible. Love how they secretly lowered camp budget. I bet they increased it for Fallout First members. They recently picked up the EA microtransaction guy. I thought they at least...
Oh, wow. That is insane. Because... even without EA microtransaction concepts, Fallout is already really bad, but I mean, damn.
Had more camp budget. They changed the 3 heavy gun perks, 20% damage each, 60% total, to something totally different. Instead of just adding new perk cards. I knew this would kill my heavy gun build, just like it did to everyone posting about this change. It sucks and I don't like it. LOL, I can't aim or jump anymore. This update sucks. I really hope that Bethesda will focus.
Well, to be honest, if you're aiming with anything but VATS, you're already kind of playing at a disadvantage. It is, as someone who has played Fallout 76 for hours upon hours, like literally probably 100 hours plus, there's no fucking gameplay in this bitch. It's one of the gun plays that I have ever played in my life. It's so bad.
Focus on the normal game and its content rather than the camp system. As someone who has used Whitespring for all my crafting since release, it's disappointing to get more content that doesn't even impact general gameplay. My camp to this day is just a generator and that dumb sign you had to make for the Wayward quest. The VATS changes are nice though, I guess. So obviously this guy isn't into camp building, so he doesn't care about this update much. But as you are seeing, it came with a lot of nerfs too that players are not fond about. And if you just go into the Fallout 76 Reddit too, you'll find out. A lot of players aren't too happy about some of the major changes within this update. Of course, players are liking the camp overhaul, which is the main meat of this update, but they're also balancing and rebalancing and nerfing a lot of things to make new meta for new incoming players that will be coming in the future. I could see it working in a...
They are. That's, by the way, serious. Bethesda is banking so hard on season 2 of the Fallout TV show, and it's not gonna happen.
long run for when the new...
Now, it's still probably gonna be a pretty decent boost, but it's not gonna be... It is not gonna be worth the investment. And that makes me happy, because Bethesda is gonna fuck themselves so hard, it's gonna be hilarious.
New players do come in, things will be much more balanced, and things aren't like one shot to kill anymore as they used to be. And I'll be getting more into that here in a second. Let's go ahead and read a few more. You see here, this person said, this update is absolute garbage. I'm so sick of this ramshackle dev team ruining what little fun there is left to have in this game every time they touch it. Yeah, not happy. They nerfed everything. No more commando perk cards, and my plasma guns nerfed ammo capacity cut and damage cut. Yeah, I'm sorry, but this update is... Whatever they did to VATS and heavy guns and with the Rejuvenators 4-star is so awful. I'm canceling my subscription. Nothing about this interests me.
I mean, the fact that these people had subscriptions is already kind of like completely insane.
Me off, honestly. This is not a post-apocalyptic game. This candy corn and sprinkles with microtransactions.
Yeah, Fallout 76 is not a post-apocalyptic game. This is one of my complaints about Fallout 76. It's the fact that Fallout 76 is just a... It's literally just a giant... What did I call it previously? Is there a better word for that? Fallout 76 is just a giant Lovecraft novel at this point. That's it. It's not surviving the nuclear wasteland. It's Mothman and cultists and eldritch horror beings and things like that. That's it. That's what this game now is. It's more in line thematically with fucking Dark Souls at this point than Fallout, which is insane.
Horse crap is making me hate Fallout. Yikes. I'm not even going to get into the Reddit. Let's just say it's similar stuff about talking about, you know, the damage changes and stuff like that. But I will read this post. I like this post that I saw on Reddit, and it gives a great explanation over what's happening with players being squishy and stuff. They have now made Deathclaws more challenging and other creatures way more challenging, which I like. I like the game to be more challenging, and also, heck, I like Deathclaws to be more challenging. They're supposed to be a scary freaking creature coming after us. As some of you may know, back in Fallout New Vegas...
Yeah, this is a thing that we have talked about so many times. Deathclaws used to be scary. If you encountered the Deathclaw in New Vegas, you'd be like, oh, damn. I better run for the hills. But in Fallout 4 and Fallout 76, Deathclaws are like... I guess they exist.
They were terrifying. They were tanks. You know, we wouldn't be able to just go up to them and, you know, shoot them a couple times and they'll be dead. No, they were something to actually be scared of a little bit. You know, like, oh no, this is going to be a tough fight. And that's how it feels now within the game more. They are way tougher than they used to be. And so are hermit crabs. If you guys have played Dangerous Pastimes yet, and you fight that hermit crab at the end, that, you know, mini boss fight you get to do, let's just say it is a freaking tank. It feels like these enemies have like 3 times more health than they used to, and way more damage resistance. As you can see here, this Reddit post I want to read because I think this is so awesome. It covers quite a bit of what's happening and why players are feeling more squishy and why they feel like they can't take out, you know, creatures as easily. PSA: a number of enemies have been buffed. Your weapons might be fine. These enemies have their health and resistance buffed. Turret, hostile turrets, not in player camps and workshops. They just mean turrets in general. Super mutants, mole miners, enemies in power armor, protectron, rad scorpion, robo brains, assaultron, fall crawler, hermit crab, sentry bot, deathclaw, super mutant behemoths, grafton monsters, scorched beast, mirelurk queen, storm goliath, ultrasight abomination, scorched beast queen, and ultrasight terror. Everything has been
so
buffed,
yeah,
guys.
everything.
They all have more health. Everything is just feeling more challenging. And they mentioned at the end here, the buffs are quite significant.
It's not even challenging. That's like the sad part about this. It's not actually the game's more challenging. It's just worse for no reason.
at least for super mutants, hermit crabs, and mirelurk queens that I fought. And I've even seen people saying they've died for the first time ever from mole miners within the uranium fever event. So mole miners are also tougher too. And personally, I like this change. I like things to feel more tougher and more challenging. You know, I've seen players complain about why are death claws so easy. Back in Fallout New Vegas, they were super challenging, and now they don't even feel like a threat. Well, now they feel like a threat. They're actually tanky.
I mean, true. In New Vegas, even in the end game when you were pretty much finished with the game, like, a death claw wasn't exactly something that you just took that lightly. It wasn't something that you could just completely ignore and be fine with. A death claw was still like, oh, that's a death claw.
And I didn't realize this because I didn't jump into the update quite yet. I was just covering what I learned from the PTS, which I just messed around with the camp building. There's been a lot of changes with damages and perk cards, and just in general with weapons too. Like, throwing weapons are amazing now, and bows are also handy too now. They've also switched up quite a bit with the heavy gun perk cards, which I'm seeing a lot of heavy gun users not too happy about that. But there are some beneficial builds you can do out of them with the bullet storm. I was seeing something with the holy fire being able to do some serious work now with the bullet storm heavy gun perk card. You know, they switched up the heavy gun perk cards, and now one of them, they chain react bullet storms, which I went over that in a previous video. But let's just say there are ways around. You just have to work on switching up your build now. But Bloody Mess is garbage now, by the way. It doesn't give you extra damage. And medic users that are, you know...
What's the point of Bloody Mess if you're not getting extra damage? That was kind of the whole point of the perk.
Required to heal players and revive players. They have more of a use, especially in raids and stuff now. They have updated the perk cards and things like that, where players that are trying to play the revival role and stuff, they are much more useful. But overall, am I super happy about the update? No, my freaking build was super nerfed too. I ran a commando build. I was running a bloodied one for a while, but bloodied has been nerfed pretty much into the dirt now. So I'm not rocking a bloodied build anymore, and yeah, I gotta switch up my commando build, which is going to take some time. Hopefully this isn't a continued thing where Bethesda is going to keep switching up the builds and metas, you know, every 3 months or something. But it could be. It could possibly be, especially if they see players taking...
They're probably gonna do it.
...out things too quickly. They want things to be a challenge, especially the raid. They want the raid to be a challenge. And I can understand...
I love the fact when companies like this, Bethesda, Blizzard, Ubisoft, all BioWare, all of these bad companies that don't do anything right, I love when they talk about the concept of, oh, we want this to be challenging. They mean bullet sponges. That's what they mean. That's it. Bullet sponge. They just want you to take more time to kill stuff. That's it. And it's just increasing numbers. Like, there's no difficulty in Diablo 4, for example. There literally exists none. You will not be able to tell apart a person who has played the game for 10 hours versus a person who has played the game for 10,000 hours in their skill expression on what's actually happening. It's impossible. There is a slight difference, but it's minute in the grand scheme of things. And this is what these companies do. They just increase the numbers. Oh, the game's too easy. Well, better give everything 50% more HP. That's gonna make it hot. No, it doesn't. That's not what makes games hot. Absolutely not.
Why they are switching up the metas, looking from the...
Now, granted, it can sometimes work, like in Fallout New Vegas. The fact that Death Claws were just tanky damage, they didn't do anything special. They were just like any other enemy. They just ran at you and did their swoopy swap things. But they were threatening. And that worked there, but it doesn't work anywhere else, sadly.
Outside perspective, if I was a game developer, would I want my players to just easily breeze through things that were meant to be a challenge? No. Especially if it's an M for mature game meant for adults, you know? I would want my player base to be challenged so they invest a little bit more time into the game.
Yeah, but that challenge is not making game mechanics, sadly.
And feel it as more of a reward of doing certain things. Like taking on a Deathclaw is more rewarding now because it's more challenging. Going through the raid is going to be more rewarding now because it's even more challenging than what it used to be. We just got to get used to this new meta and figure out what works and what doesn't. Now, am I going to like it if they keep switching and keep changing the metas? No, obviously not. That's not going to be something that's going to keep players engaged either, especially when they just get a build together and then this happens. I feel for you, for some of you that have, just did that, just got a build together and now it's just been completely nerfed. Which, speaking of, before I wrap.
Oh, that's actually true. If you're actually playing this game, you gotta build together, and now suddenly all you have is shit. That's like a delete, probably, for most people. Well, anyway, that was Rifle Gaming. 10 out of 10. Bye!